I know what kind of man you are.
This video has kind of been aching me for quite a while, which is why I wanted to make it, despite it, like, I didn't really feel like uploading today. And it's, again, just kind of been annoying me, and I want to make this video because, God, I fucking hate MamaMax. Now, this isn't going to cover shit like Pick a Side YouTube or the We Are Real movement, because both of those died in the fucking water. Plus, I don't really think I need to explain the first one, maybe the second one. But what the fuck can I really expect from a guy that tries acting like Elliot Alderson all fucking day? I'm just going to cover the more modern stuff because, well, I feel like there's a lot more to deal with on the plate compared to anything else. So fuck it, let's just deal with a madman, I guess. Basically how this whole thing kicked off was that MamaMax tried contacting Moist Critical on Discord to get attention from him because Max is a fucking leech and he needs attention from bigger people, despite him being big enough as it is. Basically, Moist Critical had, I'm just not going to sugarcoat it. He basically just had the one fucking thing that shut down the world at that one point in time. And then MamaMax got mad because he messaged him and Moist Critical didn't respond because, again, he was sick. I think this is the first step in people realizing, wow, this guy's like full of shit and delusional, which I've been saying this for the longest time. And plus, if you want people to bring attention to stuff that you're doing, I don't think making a whole video on them because they didn't respond to a text message is the best thing to go about doing it. It's not like the best solution in the world. Like, he brought in people's families for like no real reason, and I'm like, okay, contact the person you're trying to contact, but don't bring in their family, especially since they have nothing to do with it. Before this whole, false messiah thing, Max used to review a lot of NSFW videos, and some of the stuff that he would review was allegedly lolly. Which, if true, it basically just cancels out any fucking thing he has of this whole, like, savior of fucking kids online act. And because his content mostly focuses on shit like that, you would not think that, like, if people didn't watch a video, you wouldn't think that they would think, oh, that Moist Critical was involved in some weird shit. Now, the video now is, like, completely different, but the whole thing was that, people thought that, Moist Critical was in some deep shit because of MamaMax being a fucking idiot. But the real pipe to the fucking guy's head is this one.
Stay in the box! No! Stay in the box! No! Get out of my skin!
Before I actually get into him downplaying this whole thing, I just want to say I'm not including footage of him because he has this annoying fucking, like, William Afton FNAF movie voice. Like, I shit you not. Like, this is the average sounding MamaMax video. This is literally how the average MamaMax video sounds.
Could just leave it alone! Could you? Lucky me!
Like, this whole Batman voice thing, like, I get you're trying to sound deep and edgy, and without it, he sounds like a fucking nerd. He literally sounds like a goddamn nerd. But believe me, like, it's funny. It's pretty funny, and I just can't stand it, too. Like, again, just turn the fucking voice filter off. Nobody cares that you're trying to act like fucking Darkwing Duck or some shit. But basically, he was downplaying the whole Sniper Wolf drama because that was relevant at the time when he made that video, and, well, he ended up acting like a mall Santa drunk off his ass and shitting himself while trying to entertain kids. Because he downplays the thing so much to where he actually goes on about how YouTubers don't care about the big things in life, which, look, man, just shut the fuck up. He's basically that one guy that's in like a Discord call or just any call or group chat in general where you guys are talking about, I don't know, your favorite game, and then the guy interrupts you by saying, there's bigger things to worry about in the world than, say, this game you're talking about. Like, okay, dude, like, my fucking fault. I don't want to focus on the miserable big shit, and I just want to have fun. I'm sadly gonna have to play devil's advocate and say that he's not totally wrong when he said that it wasn't big in the whole grand scheme of things, but at the same time, calling a guy, a whole situation where a guy gets his house doxxed because he criticized someone's content, quote unquote. I say content in quotation marks because Sniper Wolf is not a fucking content creator. Her videos are terrible. Like, just saying that, like, trying to downplay that whole situation is just terrible. Like, yeah, there's bigger things to worry about than a guy getting his docs leaked out, but that's still a very shitty thing. Like, I don't think anyone wants that to happen. Like, if you downplayed my house getting burned down and say, oh, well, there's people dying in countries right now, I think I'd punch you in the face. Max's video doesn't help either with that, mainly because of the fucking fact that it's edited, I swear to God, it's edited like one of those things you'd wake up at like 2 in the morning and catch on TV. It's edited like a edgy YTP. It's edited like a fucking shitpost from Adult Swim. I could probably find a CapCut editor that edits better than this because it just feels like a shitpost taking itself too seriously. Before I get into this next part, I kind of want to say that this isn't the first time Max has lied about shit like this. In fact, one video of it is actually uploaded on my channel. I'll link that in the description. But long story short, there was a guy called Pablo Sonny, and Max claims he arrested him. But the thing is with this was, one, he said he arrested him and got him arrested, but then changed his mind and said the guy flew to Mexico like it's Breaking Bad, and then said he fucking went to the Philippines?
Okay.
Like, this sounds like something out of Breaking Bad, but that's not the worst part of it. Here's one of the most recent things. Actually, I think it's the most recent thing involving Max.
One day I was born at the age of 4.
Apparently, a guy called Gerard Davis was grooming and running a whole weird vampire sex cult. I wish I made this up. Holy fuck, saying it in my head seems funny. I want to laugh now. But anyway, one of these people was a person named Spencer. Now, there's a whole weird thing of, like, if, you know, Spencer and Max are dating, which most fucking likely, because there's some shit that kind of ruins the whole, oh, this person's a random nobody that came to me, even though, like, in one video he says, or I think it's a stream, he says that he's known this person since, like, I think elementary or high school or something like that. Plus, Spencer wants to make it big on social media, so fuck it, why not just go with a guy like MamaMax and you'll make it big, totally, trust me. Plus, they seem to be living together, so who knows, maybe they might be bumping uglies, who knows, again, I mean, for fuck's sakes, some person that lived through this whole thing supposedly doesn't just move in with somebody. Plus, he claims that this person is random, but then he goes on to say that they knew this person, so like, what? And also, like, he made 3 videos on it, but you could probably understand the whole fucking FNAF lore more than you can those 3 videos, because he wants you to watch a 5-hour-long podcast instead. Why should I sit through, like, a 5-hour-long podcast at a story that you made 3 videos on that I should have already gotten from those 3? And plus, most of those videos, like, most of his videos in general are just, source, trust me, bro. That or he just leeches off Mudahar and says, oh, Mudahar saw it, so it has to be true. I have to be right, because I saw Mudahar do it, guys. Trust me. Source, again, trust me, bro. It was in a dream. And before I actually show this clip, because Mudahar has a comprehensible voice, I want to point out that Keemstar was dick riding MamaMax and calling someone a, you know, PDF file defender for just arguing, with not even really arguing, just kind of critiquing MamaMax's way of doing things. All while Keem, you know, God knows how many years ago, had a girl that was 15 on stream have, like, you know, pieces of paper covering her private parts while saying that, not really saying, she had a piece of paper that said that she loved DJ Keemstar. Just want to remind you that exists.
Yeah, my thing is, like, when he says my name, it's like, I've reviewed the evidence. It's like, I never said the evidence was good evidence. I mean, I didn't even say much in that server. Even with Max, it's like, and I'll just say it right now, privately, he sent me the whole message where it's like me appearing on Tommy and fucking Lyrics' stream. They had it, a lot of, I guess, people on that server had a doubt, and it's like, I'm not showing up on these people's stream to, like, crap on you or anything. That's not a thing. Lyrics, for all things considered, yeah, he's like a fucking more raunchy guy, but I chalk that more up to his youth than anything. But what he's saying isn't necessarily out of pocket, you know? I might just be saying what Lyrics is saying with, like, more maturity applied to it, I guess is the best way to put it. But Lyrics wasn't wrong, right? Like, you got to have evidence. You got to make sure you don't go into these situations 100% on emotion, and that's it. Nobody's poking holes in Max for the sake of poking holes. It's poking holes for the sake of reaching out to these people that are working with him, that, like, if you actually want real justice, it is really time to reach out and work with actual law enforcement agents versus putting your stock into a YouTube channel. Because right now, these girls aren't going to get any justice at all. That's what I personally believe at this point. These
I think
girls
that every day they spend with him, they're a day closer to being in a civil suit with them being on the opposite side of it than they are in a situation where that guy's going to go to jail.
This is going to be the one thing that is going to sound so controversial to his camp. There's a chance that fucking Camden Gerard Davis could even be an innocent individual.
Yeah. No, and I think
that's a reality that everyone has to deal with, and it's not a reality that people should put their nose up to. There is nothing that indicatively hits in this situation, and that's really where the fuck we're at right now. Max, if you're watching this, and I have to imagine you are, you've made a very, very, very poor documentary of this whole situation. And if anything, these girls, when their case isn't going to be taken seriously, once again, there's a good chance it won't be, very good chance, that's 100% entirely on
And plus he's hyping up this like 3-hour-long documentary that has all the evidence and everything, but like, especially with the whole Charlie thing, aka Moist Critical, and then you also have like the whole Sniper Wolf thing and this whole thing going down right now, and like just going head first with like no evidence and whatever, and plus like Keem fucking just meat writing him like all of like MamaMax's meat writers do, despite Keem having, you know, some pretty weird things with a 15-year-old in his early career, which I mentioned earlier. Like, all this shit combined just, like, it feels gross. Like, it feels like a fucking spider just crawled up my leg. Plus, like, with all the shit that he supposedly has, you'd think he would go to the cops, but no, much like all of his fucking cases, he never does. He just milks the thing and milks their stories until, you know, it's dried up. This whole thing just feels gross to me, and it shows. Like, it just feels all shady and, like, fucking nasty. Especially since he made people sign non-disclosure agreements? Like, what the fuck? Dude, if you have evidence on this fucking guy, why are you making people sign non-disclosure agreements? But then again, I'm also not surprised that he can't take any fucking form of criticism.
You agreed to stay away!
I lied.
So basically this one channel by the name of Lyrics basically went on to MamaMax's stream and had some pretty valid points, like, why don't you just make a whole documentary about it? I guarantee you Moist Critical would do something if he did. But of course in this fucking stream, in typical MamaMax fashion, he just, you know, gets, you know, like, he doesn't do anything with the criticism at all. He just doesn't do anything with it. And plus, he just doesn't seem to give a shit. Like, you could clearly tell that he doesn't give a shit. He just gives a shit that, oh, you're on here, I got your eyes. Like, that's all he gives a fuck about. Like, whenever Lyrics had valid points, he would just read a donation, and then MamaMax's meat writers would just try and act like fucking Miguel O'Hara edgelords. Plus, MamaMax has no fucking qualms with sending his fans to harass streamers until they respond. I mean, he even promoted it in this same live stream. Like, as soon as Lyrics provides actual decent criticism, he just, you know, just blocks it off and just reads off donations because, you know, Lyrics isn't big enough. But then Mudahar shows up and he's like, oh, yes, 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 Mudahar, This just kind of further shows that MamaMax is a huge fucking leech. Now, a second live stream with Lyrics would actually show up, and no, literally, it would actually fucking happen, and then guess what? He decides to threaten Lyrics' channel in Discord DMs, and luckily I actually have the pictures. This whole thing is basically just MamaMax's career slowly fucking crumbling, and I'm all here for it. First, he does the whole cringy pick-a-side YouTube thing that didn't go anywhere and was manipulative as hell. Then you have this whole thing of, like, the allegations towards, like, him about being a piece of shit boyfriend or whatever. Then this whole fucking thing, it's just kind of just derailing. It's like watching an actor's downfall in real time. It's basically like watching Jonathan Majors' downfall in real time. Except Jonathan Majors is actually good at his job compared to Max. And now Max is currently under investigation, and they even fucking terminated his Mega Upload account. I'm keeping this one short, mainly just because of the fact that, like, who knows if this is actually him being for real or not? Again, like, who knows if this is actually fucking real or if it's not real, so just I'm not even gonna include it. Now, if any MamaMax fans are mad at me at this video, here's what I have to say. I don't trust MamaMax, I never will, I don't like him, I find him to be a piece of shit, and quite frankly, this whole thing is very suspicious. He even sends his fucking fans, and I mean, yeah, he literally sends his fans to go ahead and target influencers and everything until they respond. Plus, he has no qualms with going after family members or anything, so yeah, fuck him.